So I'm thrilled to introduce our next guest, our wonderful guest. She's going to be so fascinating to listen to. Guide Dogs Victoria client, Melanie.
Because I want you all to know that your support is highly valued by the people that you're giving it to. I'd also like to highlight that your guide dog clients are all on their own individual, unique vision loss journey, of which you may already be profoundly aware of. These journeys include the people dealing with the vision loss, but also those supporters that are close to them. I'm a perfect example of one of the people that you are supporting. And I'd like to share with you today how I've managed to maintain a life of independence and dignity by reaching out to well-informed supporters, where I found myself standing on a beach in front of an apartment where I was staying on holidays before I'd made the decision to go to Guide Dog Mobility. I'd taken myself off for a walk on the beach and I'd made my way back, and I'm standing in front of the apartment block. I could see it, but I just could not find the path that would take me off the beach into the apartment grounds. I'd taken my cane with me, but cane, it's pretty useless in that situation. And that was when I was struck for the first time with the differences between the two types of mobility. I knew that the cane is traditionally known as an obstacle finder, whereas the dog is known as an obstacle avoider. It hit me in that very moment that, hang on a minute, these dogs are actually, they can also be a finder. A guide dog could help me to find a door, to find a seat, to find a gate. And that was when it hit me in that moment. I need to go down that path. Lost. I knew that I would be establishing a remarkable bond with my first guide dog. This dog was going to be with me constantly throughout this journey. End of life is painful. I already had a really good sense of independence with my cane. So what was the dog going to give me that the cane wouldn't already? I found myself asking, could I be taking a dog away from someone who needs it more than me at this point in time? Then there was the impact on my family, my relationships. My Dr. Doolittle husband, Richard, he's that guy that all animals are inexplicably drawn to. How would it be if he was to inadvertently develop a bond with my guide dog, where the dog would want to be with him more than work for me? For the 25 years that Richard and I have been together, he's always been there. We'd go somewhere, he walks on my left-hand side. We hold hands. We've developed these little hand signals where it helps me to negotiate obstacles without us actually speaking. And people think it's really cute that we're still holding hands after all these years. And how would it be for him if I was to have a dog that was going to be now constantly with me on my left-hand side, doing all the work that he'd been doing? Would he feel like he's been bumped out? And then, of course, with my parents. So there was the impact on them. They've been with me on this journey right from the beginning, and getting a guide dog would be a really obvious indicator that my vision had deteriorated to a certain point. How would that impact them? Would old feelings of guilt, which I know had plagued them, would they resurface? Then for my siblings, I felt an enormous pressure to get this right. I could be potentially leading the way for my two younger siblings who live with the same condition. And then to top it all off, I felt an overwhelming sense of responsibility towards the organisation that I would be getting the dog from. And that one light bulb moment where, there I was standing in front of this apartment block that I just couldn't get into. I set myself a goal. I said, I'm going to come back here to this holiday destination and with my dog, and we're going to find our way off that damn beach. And it did. It happened. I did go back for another holiday, and the first thing I did after dumping my bags in the unit was my dog and I went down to the beach, and it just took a few minutes for me to teach her to locate and target that particular gate. As we came back and as we got close, I just said to her, okay, find the gate. Off she went, and I'm parachuting behind her up the beach. The feelings that were going through me was just this intense gratitude and relief, and then just pure joy as I found myself standing in front of the gate, and I looked down and all I could see is a back end wriggling furiously. overwhelming sense of happiness that flooded me in that moment was just, I'm so happy. She's happy since I transitioned from using a cane to this wonderful, tangible partnership that I have with my thinking teammate. And that 4 weeks of training was the most intensely challenging and yet incredibly rewarding period of growth that I had ever experienced in my life to that point. To be totally honest, I can't say that Dassault has given me a newfound sense of independence. I already had that, but I can say that she has totally turned my life completely upside down in all the best possible way, except that I haven't had a sleep in since November 2018. So she has helped to enhance my independence by teaching me the value of trust. I'd been on this journey on my own, and I had people around me that loved and supported me, and I had some great support networks, but ultimately I'd been on my own. You know, those everyday everythings I was doing by myself, and it was wearing me down without me even realising it until I got her. And the pressure is just lifted. I can breathe now. I feel like I'm a much calmer, a much more balanced person thanks to her. I get to live in the moment every day. My mum was caught totally unaware. She was visiting not long after I got Des, and she walked past and was having a quick sneaky glance at her. And she just stopped in her tracks. She was just overwhelmed with this intense appreciation for all the positive things this dog had brought to my life. And I remember Mum, she stopped and she looked at me and she had tears in her eyes. And my mum's really guarded with that sort of thing. She just looked at me and she said, "Oh, Melanie," she said, "I just love this dog so much for everything she's brought to you." And then for my brother and sister, Matthew and Sally, as they've gotten to know and love Des, the potential pathway to guide dog mobility is now perhaps, it's a lot less daunting and even perhaps open. We hope that you can walk away today with a profound sense of fulfillment towards the cause that you are committed to, and be completely reassured that your support is so, so highly valued by the people that you're giving it to. So from Desi and I, it's a huge, big pawsome thank you.
Melanie, you are truly an inspiration. It's just, I'm in awe when I listen to your story, and I'm sure everybody else was as well. You mentioned about you spent that 4 weeks with Desi getting to know her, and you said that you didn't gel straight away. When was the moment that you actually knew that you were going to be a good pair together?
Yeah. Normally when I got off the train, we would have to make a hard left, and she didn't take that left, and she just went up her head a little bit, and then she went left. And I thought, well, it doesn't seem quite right. So I retracked. We're trying to go back and redo your route if it doesn't feel quite right. So I did that, and I got to where I thought we needed to turn left, and I just paused, and I was just thinking in my mind, she stopped again. I wonder why. And a member of the public actually stopped me and said, "Oh, you can't go that way. They've blocked it all off. They're doing some sort of construction, and you have to go up and around a little bit further." I must have looked totally ridiculous, because I've just hit the deck and I'm sitting there and I'm hugging her and I'm crying because she could see it. I couldn't. And that was when, it just really hit me. It was like, yep, okay, yeah, we've got it now.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say thanks so much, Mel, for sharing your very personal story with us. It's always lovely to hear from people that use services from guide dogs. So thank you so much for being here today and sharing that.
I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Mel. I just found your story to be so inspiring, Mel. You took us on your journey with you. You have such a beautiful way of telling a story that you really did take us on the journey with you. I would not be more delighted, and you told your story beautifully. So congratulations, Mel. It really was a pleasure to listen to you, and thank you for sharing it with us. I really, really appreciate it.
And thank you again to Melanie. She was just incredible to listen to.